Namaste, dear students. Hope all are you doing good. So, in the last video, you have understood what is liquidation, the meaning of liquidation, modes of liquidation, and order of payments, everything. So, we have covered a majority of theory part in my last videos. So, today I am here with illustration number 1 on liquidation of companies, that is problem on liquidation of companies. So let us look into the problem. Illustration number 1, Mysore company went into liquidation with the following liabilities. Point A secured creditors rupees 40,000. So in bracket, security is realized 50,000. Point B, preferential creditors rupees 1,200. Point C, unsecured creditors rupees 61,000. And point D, liquidation expenses rupees 500. Liquidator is entitled to a remuneration of 3% on the amount realized, including the securities in the hands of secured creditors, and 1.5% on the amount to be distributed to unsecured creditors. The various assets, excluding the securities in the hands of security, realized at rupees 52,000. Prepare the liquidator's final statement of account showing payment made to unsecured creditors. So dear students, this is just a basic problem which I am trying to solve today, because since it is a first illustration, so slowly we will move the problem and solution part to the advanced level. So let us begin with the easiest problem so that you can understand exactly what item should be considered and where it has to be entered. So let us begin the solution part for this problem. So dear students, let us begin with the solution part of this problem. So that is Mysore Company Limited. So the solution is what we are supposed to prepare. We are supposed to prepare liquidator's final statement of account. What we are supposed to prepare? Liquidator's final statement of accounts. Okay, so let us start. Write the heading first. Liquidator's final statement of accounts. Okay, so let us open the table. So the table is a normal table, that is a ledger account. So open one ledger account. Around half a page I might require. Yes, it is a normal journal, a ledger account which I am opening. Okay, so try to understand how we are going to draw the table for liquidator's final statement of accounts. So the same columns, that is particulars, rupees, particulars, rupees. So let me open particulars, rupees, particulars, rupees, particulars, rupees, particulars, rupees. Okay, particulars, rupees, particulars, rupees. So now what we are supposed to do and how we are going to solve the problem. Okay, so first thing, always we are supposed to calculate, how much the assets we do have in our hand. Okay, so first check out, in the problem they said secured creditors rupees 40,000, security is realized at rupees 50,000. So there was a secured creditors of rupees 40,000, security realized rupees 50,000. So that means when we have sold the asset, we got 50,000 rupees. Correct? And when we are pledging that asset, when we have pledged that asset with the creditor, for how much we have pledged? Secured creditors 40,000 rupees. But when we have sold, how much we got? 50,000 rupees. Correct? So first write down to surplus from the sale of secured creditors, to surplus from the sale of secured creditors, surplus from the sale of secured creditors. Okay, so now write down what is the realized value of secured creditors? 50,000 rupees. Correct, it has been realized at rupees 50,000, minus how much was the secured creditors? 40,000. So if you clear 40,000 rupees of debt out of 50,000 assets realized, so how much you have cash excess? That is 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees. Correct? Yes. So then after that he said in point B, preferential creditors 1,200, unsecured creditors 61,000, liquidation expenses 500. Liquidators remuneration they have given. So that is 3% on the amount realized, including the securities in the hands of secured creditors, and 1.5% on the amount to be distributed to unsecured creditors. The various assets excluding the securities in the hands of secured creditors realized at rupees 52,000. See, the various assets in the bracket, he specified that excludes the securities in the hands of security creditors. So whatever secured creditors we have pledged with the secured creditors, the worth of 50,000 asset, after excluding that, the asset has been realized for rupees 52,000. Clear? So if any asset has been realized, that we are going to write in the debit side of the liquidator's final statement of accounts. So second one, write to other assets realized. For how much it has been realized? Yes, 52,000 rupees. For 52,000 rupees it has been realized. Okay, so that's all we have assets realization. So next he said prepare the liquidator's final statement of account showing payment made to unsecured creditors. Okay, so let us look into the payment part. Now this is the whatever the asset has been sold, how much amount we have received by selling the assets I have written here. So now whatever the payments we are supposed to make, whatever the settlements we are supposed to make, so we are supposed to do that. So let us write down by first one, always we write secured creditors, by secured creditors. So how much secured creditors? Nil. Why it is nil? Because it was already secured at 40,000 rupees, which I have already settled. After settling, I have got 10,000 rupees. So that is why we have already settled that secured creditors. So that is why it is nil. Some other people, how they do it, they will show here sale of secured creditors 50,000 and secured creditors payment side, they will say 40,000, they will show 40,000 here. So let us not make any confusion over here. So I don't wanted to make it complicated, so I wanted to keep it simple. So that is why sale of secured creditors 50,000 rupees we have sold it, and we have cleared the secured creditors whatever the due 40,000. So that I have deducted here. So the left out I have written here in the debit side of the table, and I am writing on the payment side by secured creditors is nil. Okay, so next immediately we have to pay any expenditure which is related to the liquidation. So in the problem, if you look at that, there is a expenditure on liquidation. So how much is the liquidation expenditure? So if you look at the problem, he has clearly said that liquidation expenditure. Liquidators is entitled to a remuneration, that remuneration part, and the various assets realized 50,000, 52,000 he has said. So and liquidation expenses rupees 500. Liquidation expenses rupees 500. So right, look at the point D in the problem. By liquidation expenses, by liquidation expenses, that is 500 rupees. That is how much? 500 rupees. So next we are supposed to calculate liquidator's remuneration. So this is a bit, you have to be calculative and tricky point. So the here only the majority of the students will commit mistake. Okay, so that is why you have to be very careful while calculating this. Liquidator remuneration, liquidator remuneration. So how much liquidator's remuneration? In the problem they have clearly said liquidator is entitled to a remuneration of 3% on the assets realized, including securities in the hands of secured creditors. That is including in the hands of secured creditors. So let us check how much was the assets value which was in the hands of secured creditors. That was 50,000 rupees. Correct? 50,000 rupees. So first I am writing that 50,000 rupees that was in the hands of secured creditors plus unsecured creditors. So that is unsecured assets realized. Other assets realized how much? 52,000 rupees. That is 52,000. So how much it came to? It came to 1,02,000 rupees. 1,02,000 rupees. So what is the percentage of commission on this? He said 3% on the amount realized, including the securities in the hands of secured creditors. So 3% I am calculating. So you also calculate in the calculator. 1,02,000 into 3 divided by 100. 1,02,000 into 3%. So that comes to 3,060. 3,060. So 3060. 3,060. After that, they said, and 1.5% on the amount to be distributed to unsecured creditors. So, next, what? 1.5% on unsecured creditors, because he said in the clearly in the problem that 1.5% on the amount to be distributed to unsecured creditors. That means 1.5% on unsecured creditors. So now we are supposed to calculate how much is the unsecured creditors. So what is the value of unsecured creditors? Correct. So to calculate unsecured creditors, what we are supposed to do? We have to do a working note. We have to do a working note. Okay, so let us do the working note now. So working note number 1. So I'm leaving a bit of space. So after this I'm leaving some space. So now I'm writing working note number 1. Okay. So now what I am supposed to calculate? Calculation of liquidators remuneration at 1.5% on the amount paid to the unsecured creditors. So write down. So that is calculation of liquidators remuneration at 1.5% on the amount paid to unsecured creditors. So now we have to calculate amount, how much we are paying to the unsecured creditors. So let us calculate now. So the same statement whatever we have done on the top, the same calculation we are going to repeat. Okay, so we are going to repeat the same calculation. So what is that? So check out here. So how much we have in the assets realized column? I have 10,000 rupees. I have 52,000 rupees. How much I have together? 10,000 rupees and 52,000 rupees. So the same I am writing here. So we have 10,000 rupees and we do have 52,000 rupees. So we have 10,000 and we have 52,000 rupees. So I have just copied the same. And writing the rest. Okay, so now to whom all we are paying? So let us write 500 rupees for liquidation expenses. 500 rupees is for liquidation expenditure, and we have identified here that is 3060, that is liquidators remuneration. So I am writing that also. How much? 3060 rupees. 3060 rupees. So apart from that, whatever we do have, like even preferential creditors is also considered as what? Unsecured creditors. So that I have taught you in the theory notes, correct? So now do we have preferential creditors? Yes. How much? So that is preferential creditors of rupees 1,200. So we have to pay an amount to preferential creditors, that is 1,200 rupees. So let us write 1,200 for preferential creditors. Okay, this is liquidators remuneration. This is liquidation expenditure. Liquidators remuneration, preferential creditors. So preferential creditors is always said as what? Unsecured creditors, correct? Preferential creditors is always considered as unsecured creditors. So how much unsecured creditors? Then 1,200. On that also we are supposed to calculate 1.5%, correct? So now calculate, that is 1,200 into 1.5% of liquidators remuneration. So how much it will come? 1.5 divided by 100. So 1,200 into 1.5%. So that comes to how much? That comes to 18 rupees, correct? 18 rupees. So this is also liquidators remuneration, 18 rupees. So anything else we are supposed to pay? So nothing, correct? So we are done. So now let us total both the side. Let us total both the side. So if you total, how much you are getting? 10,000 plus 52,000. Put together it is 62,000 rupees. How much? 62,000 is the total. 62,000 is the total. So now I am writing the same total this side also. So 62,000 rupees. So now deduct all the things. So 62,000 minus 500 minus 3060 minus 1200 minus 18. So how much you have got? 57,222 rupees. 57,222. So write down 57,222 rupees. So what is this? So that is cash available. Cash available. Clear, to pay to the unsecured creditors. So underline this or highlight this and keep it. Okay. So now I'm going to prepare a working note number 2. So let me do a working note number 2. Working note number 2. Working note number 2. So what I am going to write in the working note number 2, what I am going to prepare? So I am going to calculate, that is on unsecured creditors, how much they are supposed to pay. Okay. So let me see. So write down the heading for this. Calculation of remuneration. Calculation of remuneration. Calculation of remuneration to liquidator on unsecured creditors under insufficient fund when the fund is insufficient, we are going to apply this. So for this, what is the formula? Formula is available fund into what is the percentage of liquidators remuneration? 1.5% divided by 100 plus percentage divided by 100 plus percentage. So that is whatever the percentage they have given. I have written directly here 1.5. So the formula is available fund into percentage divided by 100 plus percentage. So available fund how much? 557,222 rupees. How much? 57,222 into what is the percentage? 1.5 divided by 100 plus 1.5. So now next line, 57,222 into 1.5 divided by 101.5%. So if you calculate, how much you are going to get? So do the calculation and find 57,222 into 1.5% divided by 101.5. So answer is, how much you have got? Answer into 100 if you do it, 845.64. So you're going to get 845.6. So 845.6 is nothing but 846. So I'm not I'm rounding off. 846 rupees I've got. So have you understood how we got 846? So that is the remuneration of liquidator. Okay, so now 1.5% on unsecured creditors we have done. So under that what we are supposed to write? Under that what we are supposed to write now? So write point A, preference share. So that is on preferential creditors, right? On preferential creditors, I'm calculating one more time. Preferential creditors is 1200. On that 1.5%. So 1.5 divided by 100, how much? So if you calculate 1200 into 1.5% is 18 rupees. So that is 18 rupees. I'm writing 18 rupees. Okay, so I understood how we got 18. So next is point B, 1.5% on unsecured creditors, correct? So that is amount distributed on unsecured creditors. So unsecured creditors, so how much is the unsecured creditors? So we have done the calculation, correct? So working note number 2, you can mention working note 2. So on that how much we got? 846 rupees. 846. So now total all the three. So that is 3060 rupees, 3060 plus 18 rupees plus 18 plus 846. So liquidator's remuneration is 3924. So how much? 3924. 3924 rupees. Okay. So now debenture holders, do we have any debenture holders to pay? So no, right? So but still we mention debenture holders nil, since there is no any debenture holder in the problem. So then we do have like any preferential creditors. Yes, we do have preferential creditors. How much in the problem? Look at 1200 rupees. I have written here also. So 1200 I am settling the amount of the preferential creditors. So after that we don't have any payments to pay. So whatever the amount left out, so just I am writing amount available for unsecured creditors, amount available for unsecured creditors. So now we are supposed to find out the amount which is available for unsecured creditors. So let me total this table now. So to identify the amount available to unsecured creditors. So I'm closing the table right away now. Yes. Close the table. So create a total column also. So now we know the total, that is 10 plus 52 is 62,000 rupees. So I'm writing 62,000 both the side, 62,000, 62,000. Now deduct all the expenditure which we do have out of 62. So 62,000 minus how much we have here? 500 rupees. So minus 500 minus 3,924. How much? 3,924 minus how much? 1200. 1200. So how much left out is 56,376 rupees. So 56,376 rupees. So this amount is available to be distributed among unsecured creditors. So this is the amount which is available to distribute among the unsecured creditors. So this is the problem, that is the solution part I have done for a liquidator's final statement illustration number 1. So I have done the solution for illustration 1. Illustration number 1. So this is the basic problem. See, there is no any much adjustment. So with very little adjustment, very little points, I have done this problem so that to make you understand where we are going to write assets realized value, where we are going to write the payment. Clear? So it is very simple. Whatever asset sold, you are going to write in the debit column. Whatever the payments made, you are going to write it in the credit side column. Okay. So only part here you have to calculate a liquidator's remuneration with a little more conscious. So you have to put a little more conscious to understand that. Okay. So that's all. So you practice this. You solve this 2 to 3 times. So until you understand. So with the working notes how we have calculated, so that you will get a clarity of idea how to calculate liquidator's remuneration and all, so that in the second problem little advanced version will start. Okay. So I'll come up with one more video very shortly. Until then, take care, see you soon, bye bye, and stay safe.